Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a totally fascinating breakdown from the team over at the Anasap Consulting channel. They recently did a deep dive into what is honestly shaping up to be one of the most consequential tech events of our entire generation, Google I/O 2026. They sifted through the noise and pinpointed the 15 most exciting, literal paradigm-shifting updates from that massive keynote. So if you're trying to figure out where the absolute bleeding edge of technology sits right now, well, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's get into it. Right out of the gate, their analysis drops this absolute bombshell of a thesis. We are genuinely close to AGI, artificial general intelligence. We're not just talking about those clever chatbots anymore, we are talking about a major threshold moment in human history. Anasap Consulting makes the case that Google I/O 2026 wasn't just a regular product showcase. To them, it's actual, tangible proof that AGI is basically right on our doorstep. That is a massive claim to make, right? So to understand why they're planting that flag, we really need to look at the specific evidence they've laid out. Okay, the everyday assistant. To make sense of this giant leap, they start at the micro level, looking at how AI is quietly, but entirely, changing our daily routines. First up is Gemini Spark. Now, you gotta understand, this isn't just a glorified autocomplete. It's built to be a fully fledged personal assistant. The whole goal here is the seamless, automatic management of your most chaotic digital spaces, like your Gmail and your calendar. Imagine having an AI that doesn't just read your emails, but actually organizes your entire inbox and perfectly balances your schedule, doing all that heavy lifting without you having to lift a single finger. And it definitely doesn't stop at your inbox. We are looking at a fundamental shift in how we actually discover information. For decades, we've all been totally conditioned to expect a list of blue links when we Google something. Well, scratch that. The new Google search dynamically creates custom applications and visualizations literally on the fly. So instead of just pointing you to a website and saying, "Here, figure it out," it's designed to help you actively learn things in real time. It's this massive pivot from just retrieving information to highly customized active education. Moving on to the creator's playground. If you make content of any kind, you're going to want to hear this, because things get truly wild from here. Enter Gemini Omni. This model powerfully merges Google's incredibly deep, vast knowledge of the world directly with next-gen video generation. So this isn't just a video generator spitting out pixels in a vacuum. It's an AI model tapping straight into the world's largest repository of information to actually inform what it's creating. The implications for the depth, the accuracy, and the sheer context of generated video are absolutely massive. Which leads us perfectly to a tool that the host of Honest Soup Consulting admitted left them completely speechless: Flow Studio. This is, for all intents and purposes, a full-blown movie production platform, and the whole thing exists entirely within your web browser. Just let that sink in for a second. The massive hardware setups and sprawling physical studios that you usually need to produce a film, they're being distilled down into a browser tab that anybody with a Wi-Fi connection can open. So how's it actually work? It is deceptively simple. Step 1, you generate your characters. Step 2, you can seamlessly swap out faces. And step 3, you build out entire stories, from start to finish, just by typing. You are effectively directing a whole movie through text prompts. It's that incredibly frictionless jump from simple text to full production that represents a game-changing leap for creators. All right, hold on tight, because we're shifting gears into the heavy lifters. These are the massive underlying developer tools that actually make all this front-end magic possible. The absolute powerhouse standout here is a system called Antigravity 2.0. This is an autonomous coding system, and it is specifically designed to tackle insanely complex engineering projects. We are not talking about writing a quick script to scrape some data off a website. We are talking about handing over monumental architectural software engineering tasks entirely to an AI. To put that into perspective, just consider this jaw-dropping number: 12. In just 12 hours, this AI system built an entire operating system from scratch. An entire OS. Tasks that traditionally take huge teams of highly skilled human engineers, months or even years of coordinated effort. Yeah, this system knocked it out between your morning coffee and dinner time. But speed is really only half the story here. The total cost to run that AI processing, the actual compute tokens required to build an operating system, was under $1,000. Seriously, think about that. When you can synthesize high-end software engineering in half a day for less than the cost of a new iPhone, the economic barriers to building massive digital infrastructure effectively vanish overnight. And naturally, the competitive landscape is shifting right alongside this. The source analysis points out that Google's newly announced Gemini 3.5 Flash model is actively beating rival models like Cloud 4.7 Opus, specifically when it comes to the crucial balance of performance versus speed. It's a relentless arms race out there, and this data shows Google is aggressively optimizing to give developers top-tier reasoning without sacrificing any velocity. So, pulling back to the macro view, we really have to ask, are we finally here? When you step back and combine all these tools, you're not looking at a list of individual products anymore. And if you needed any more evidence of the sheer scale of this rollout, just look at these rapid-fire updates. Docs Live, Flow Music, new AI glasses. We literally don't even have the time to deep dive into all of them today. But grouping them like this perfectly illustrates the staggering speed of Google's push. They are relentlessly integrating AI into every conceivable corner of our daily lives, from how we write documents, to how we experience music, to how we literally view the world through smart hardware. Which brings us right back around to the core conclusion from the Anasoup Consulting analysis. Google is quietly building a world where AI handles everything around you. Look, as an explainer, it's not my job to tell you if this AI-handled world is a beautiful utopia or some sci-fi dystopia. My job is to clearly present their viewpoint, and to them, this relentless, all-encompassing wave of tech releases is undeniable proof that we are standing right on the edge of AGI. The infrastructure for that world is literally being laid down right in front of us. So, the bottom line is this. The technological landscape is changing faster than ever before. We've covered a ton of ground today from this analysis, all the way from Gemini Spark managing your inbox to Antigravity 2.0 coding entire operating systems in half a day. Now, I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on. Out of everything we unpacked today, which launch are you most excited about? Think about how these tools might actually apply to your own life, and keep learning. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.